Astronomers in 1996 attempted to do something extraordinary. They pointed the Hubble Space Telescope into a part of the sky that seemed utterly empty, a patch devoid of any planets, stars, and galaxies. This area was close to the Big Dipper, a very familiar constellation, and the patch of sky was no bigger than a grain of sand held out at arm's length. This was a somewhat risky move by the scientists. After all, observing time on this telescope is in very high demand, and some questioned whether it would be wasted trying to look at nothing. There was a real risk that the images returned would be as black as the space at which it was being pointed. Nevertheless, they opened the telescope and slowly, over the course of 10 full days, photons that had been traveling for over 13 billion years finally ended their journey on the detector of humanity's most powerful telescope. Their feeble signals collected almost one by one. When the telescope was finally closed and the images were processed, the light from over 3,000 galaxies had covered the detector, producing one of the most profound and humbling images in all of human history. Every single spot, smear, and dot was an entire galaxy, and each one containing hundreds of billions of stars. Later, in 2004, they did it again, this time pointing the telescope towards an area near the constellation Orion. They opened the shutter for over 11 days and 400 complete orbits around the Earth. Using detectors with increased sensitivity and filters that allowed more light through than ever before, over 10,000 galaxies appeared in what became known as the ultra-deep field, an image that represented the farthest we've ever seen into the universe.
From 1994, Hubble began a systematic survey of the centers of distant galaxies, searching for the telltale signature of stars speeding around a supermassive black hole.
Verified solid forward link.
We don't have that much science reporting today.
Astronomers started by looking at an active galaxy, M87. As expected, it had a giant feeding black hole, shooting a great jet of energy into space. But it was when the search broadened out to include inactive galaxies as well that something incredible happened. In every galaxy scientists looked at, they found evidence for a supermassive black hole.
NGC 3115.
NGC 3377.
And NGC 3379.
M31 and M32.
In total, there's probably 20 to 30 or so black holes that have been found.
Supermassive black holes were supposed to be rare, but Hubble was finding them everywhere. both feeding in active galaxies and lurking quietly in ordinary galaxies.
Pretty soon we got used to the idea that everything we would look at would have a black hole in it. You know, after the first 3 or 4 cases, we're beginning to wonder, does everyone have a black hole?
One by one, we were seeing this picture sort of emerge out of the fog that every galaxy, or almost every galaxy, had a supermassive black hole in it. It was really quite astonishing.
Huge jets of uneaten star are spat out into space.